Live from Orlando, Florida, you're listening to the Orlando Magic HQ podcast, the voice of Magic fans. Join us every week for a unique fan perspective on all of the latest Magic news and updates. The show starts now.
What's up, Magic fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Orlando Magic HQ podcast, brought to you by DraftKings and part of the Basketball Podcast Network. We're your hosts, Al, myself, Anthony. Today is Friday, February 17th. We're a post-Valentine's Day. We are a post the last game where we're going to have this stretch of like almost a week. It feels like a week and a half of zero Orlando Magic basketball as we head into All-Star Weekend. And, man, we're going to have some representation in All-Star Weekend. Maybe not in the All-Star game like we would hope. Unfortunately, Paolo did not make that, which is still surprising to me, man. I thought we really had a shot to get a rookie in there, get Paolo in there, but that didn't happen. But man, we got Franz, we got Paolo representing in the Rising Star Challenge. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Paolo also going to be in part of that skills challenge, which is dope, man, because Nicola went in there, represented the Orlando Magic in the past and did really well, so I'm expecting really big things from Paolo, so we're going to talk about that. And then the Magic made some moves, man, and we lost some players, and we got a chance to see kind of what their future looks like, so we'll touch base on those things. But before we get into it, man, did you get a chance? Yeah, I posted this on Twitter because I really wanted to know, man. I think this is a great way to kind of start this episode off. But did you need an excuse from your significant other to be able to watch the Orlando Magic play on Valentine's Day? Like, did you get it passed? Did she watch it with you? Like, what was that like?
So I saw you tweeted that, and later in the day I saw it, and I replied to you. Now, man, it's a tradition. Like, whenever the Magic play that day, I've been blessed. And if you've listened to the podcast for years, I've talked about this. I'm blessed, man. My wife truly respects the fandom and the fact that, hey, like, she knows I take it so seriously. She goes to every game with me. She watches the games when they play on the road. Not always. She'll be on her phone a lot of times when they play on the road. But like Valentine's Day, she kind of knew already. So as I tweeted to you, I just ordered dinner. Flowers were sent to her before. I never do a Valentine's Day. I always send that either before or after. But yeah, man, we had a nice evening. We didn't have to I didn't have to ask for it or like make an excuse. She kind of knew. We had a great time. Unfortunately, we lost against the Raptors that game, so she wasn't really happy about the outcome. She's picked up all this like bad refereeing that we're seeing lately against the Magic, so she kept just shouting at the TV, upset at some of the calls that we got in that game. But no, man, for me, really simple. Like, again, had dinner ready. We had our celebration prior to, as you guys know, I was on vacation a few weeks back. Part of that was celebrating our anniversary, Valentine's Day, kind of all into one. So I kind of did it early, I guess. It's the right response. But what about you? I'm intrigued by you.
Listen, I'm truly blessed as well. Just not watching the Orlando Magic play on Valentine's Day. I had to take a day off, man. I'll be honest with you. I stressed my wife out with all this Orlando Magic stuff that I do. It's a little intense and a lot harder, definitely now with two kids. So she supports me a lot in that regards. But on Valentine's Day, my gift to her on Valentine's Day was giving her all my attention, zero Orlando Magic basketball, like nothing. And it took literally everything in my soul, in my bones, to like not even look at the score, not get the notifications. Cause my phone is hooked up, bro. Like it's anything that happens virally, posts, like notifications. Like during the Magic game, man, I'll probably get like over 100+ notifications of things happening. Right. So I had to put my phone like far away from me. So I just completely forget that a game is even happening. But I saw some people, they were struggling with it also, you know what I mean? Yep. And just to kind of read some of the comments that that we have here, our guy Yadi from our Patreon, he said, first year while dating my wife, I was honest and told her I'm not a big fan of Valentine's Day, and the rest is history. As long as I cook a nice meal, chocolate and flowers, I am good. Nice. Someone else said, this is Sandy Bancaro, who said, thanks for the reminder. Damn it, didn't think this through whatsoever. Completely forgot. Isn't Valentine's Day, doesn't it normally land on like All-Star weekend? Like
For the
this
most
time,
part.
I feel like it landed way before. Maybe I don't know. I always felt like it was always like All-Star game. Somehow it just landed.
You know what threw it
Maybe
off
I'm wrong.
was that they started doing trade deadline before All-Star weekend. So it used to be after All-Star weekend, the trade deadline. So once they made that switch, it kind of delays. Now it pushed it back a little bit. So that's why you're seeing it happen after. But yeah, it used to be mainly on that weekend.
Yeah, we got someone else that said, didn't even think about the predicament that we have ourselves in tonight. We have someone else that said, well, man, we're just going to watch the game together. Someone else said that I'm just going to tell her that I have COVID and we're just going to have to maintain distance, quarantine. Someone else said, Bally's and chill, which is kind of funny. I don't, did we add that in our agenda for today? Bally Sports?
We didn't, but we should definitely talk about it.
Okay, so we'll talk about that now. That's a great transition until we get it. Bally Sports, man. So if you didn't see, they're going bankrupt, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't done too much research, but it doesn't sound good, folks. Like it doesn't at all. So I'm hoping that they're just gonna let the rest of the season kind of play out. They're not gonna pay a couple bills a couple times, but they are filing for bankruptcy. And man, it's bittersweet for two reasons, right? The first one, I really hope that doesn't impact our guys, right? Dante and the guys. I don't think it should because they were with Fox Sports Florida and then transition into Bally, so I'm sure that they'll just land with whatever's next. The second part, man, good for them because like paying 20 bucks a month for just streaming was absolutely ridiculous. It was a ridiculous price. I wasn't happy that I was paying for it. And the fact that they went away from like streaming altogether, like life was beautiful when you're watching Hulu Live or watching YouTube Live, or excuse me, YouTube TV, and you're able to watch a Magic game through your streaming service. And the fact that they went away from that is kind of a pain in the ass because it was a time frame where before, like last season, they added the streaming. I think they added it like super late, right?
Yeah.
But before you had to have Spectrum or AT&T, DirecTV, whatever it was. Like you had to have like an actual cable service. And dude, it's 2023. Like who really do you have cable?
I don't.
Who has cable anymore? Where everyone is in the business of cutting the cord, right?
Yep.
Everyone's all about streaming. And it was, I'll be honest with you, the whole Bally Sports era of Orlando Magic basketball, I'm not gonna miss. I'm not gonna
It
miss
was a bad experience, man. And I think they have to just evolve. Whoever buys them out, whoever acquires them, whatever they decide to do, it's gotta be a more innovative company and they have to figure something out. Because to your point, I would gladly pay for it if it's streaming at a decent price. What is it, $25 a month now? The Bally Sports Plus, whatever it is. Like, come on, man. Like, really? Like, that's half of what you would pay.
It came with like I wasn't sure if it was the Tampa Bay Lightnings or the baseball. I don't watch none of that. Like, listen, I am all about my basketball, my Magic. That's it. I don't have time for all the other sports. Like I am focused on one lane. So the fact that I'm paying like extra for all these other things, I wasn't happy about it.
Yeah, the thing is that they got to figure it out. This can happen, in the next 30 days. It hopefully happens at the end of the season. And I mean, we're only 2 months away from the season ending. After that, it's the playoffs, and ESPN, TNT, they carry the games. But if it happens before then, it's kind of like, all right, what happens now? Because we got 2 months left of basketball. Like you cannot just simply stop showing the games. But hopefully the NBA gets involved too. They got to figure something out. It feels outdated to me the way they've been doing it.
I mean, truthfully, I would love a world where we were able to get like I would pay for the league pass if I'm able to watch the Magic as well.
Exactly.
And if it's like locally, like allow me to be able to watch my team, my announcers, my reporters, allow me to do that. Like I get the reasons why, because they have the contracts and the money, and I get all that. But as a consumer, like that would have been amazing. That would be ideal.
Yeah, NBA League Pass has like this option where you can buy, I think it's like 5 teams, 1 team, or the whole league. Imagine being able to buy the Magic only. If you're a Magic fan that just wants to watch the Magic, and charge me a good penny for it. It's okay. If I'm going to get all the games, I can listen to Jeff and the local crew. I'm okay paying a little bit extra money, but just give me what I want to get. But they got to figure out the whole like regional TV contracts and all that kind of stuff. But hopefully it's a good opportunity now to make that happen because Fox Sports went away, Bally's went away. Like who's next? Who can acquire them now and be like this? I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, we'll end up finding out exactly what that all means. But again, I hope that our guys are good and we don't get any adjustments on that end. But kind of moving along towards this All-Star weekend. Man, All-Star weekend is always a fun time just because there's a lot of different things going on. You got the NBA Skills Challenge, you got the 3-point contest, the NBA Slam Dunk contest, you got All-Star Game, and one of the things I love about the NBA is that they're always trying to they tinker with it, right? They always try to make things fresh and new, and they listen to the fan base and really try to make adjustments. Like one of the adjustments that they made this year that I really like is the draft for the All-Star game. Like once they start selecting their team, they're doing it the day of and not like a couple days before. And man, Woj Woj and Sam's, they're always kind of messing things up in advance. And now it's almost impossible to do that, which is cool. But kind of talking about the skills challenge, Paolo Banchero representing the Magic. And it's cool because if you didn't see, they're breaking it up into 3 teams from what it looks like. So you got Team Antetokounmpo. I still mess up that last name. I still can't get it right. But you got Team Giannis, right? That consists of him and his 2 brothers. You got Team Jazz, Jordan Clarkson, Walker Kessler, Colin Sexton. And they got Team Rookies. You got Paolo Banchero, Jaden Ivey, and Jabari Smith Jr. Hey,
interesting.
Look at that. Look at that. Jabari and Paolo. Good friends.
Interesting, huh?
So it's gonna be fun, man. I'm definitely rooting for the rookies. I want Paolo to go out there and showcase what he's able to do, man. One of the traits that you love about Paolo so much is that he's a Swiss Army knife. He's can do everything. Playmaking, shooting could be a little bit better. Rebounding could be a little bit better, but hopefully there's no rebounding in the skills challenge. But man, I'm expecting for the rookies to go out there and put in work.
Yeah, I mean, they got a good chance. I don't know if it's. I just read before we went live here. Ivy, I think, might not be playing in All-Star Weekend. I could be wrong on this, but I don't know who's replacing him in that scenario. But I still like Paolo, man. Paolo's a guy that can kind of do it all out there. He can pass. He can move pretty fast on the court. So I like his chances as a rookie out there showcasing his skills. And of course, tonight, in the with France playing in the game tonight, that should be a lot of fun. If we see Paolo and France put on a show, my biggest concern was some Rockets players were going to be teammates with France. And I'm like, they don't pass the ball, so France is going to be screwed. A couple of them are not playing now. I think one of them is Jalen Green. So if that's the case, I like France's chances to put on a nice show there for the fans.
Yeah, man. The fact that they were the first 2 picks as well, just it screams what everyone in the fan base like already knows. Like fan base, we know that they would have been the first 2 picks, but the fact that it's now like echoing outside of our walls,
it's huge.
Is great because that's acknowledgement, man. It's Magic got the 2 youngest, dopest, freshest youngins on the team, and it's they deserve that type of recognition.
They sure do. So it'll be fun, man. I just hope they put on a show. Paulo should definitely put on a show. I'm not going to be too surprised. It's a game where it's just up and down, dunking and showcasing your skills. So I expect Paolo to do a good job. France, a little more technical, a little more 3-point shooting, more. Yeah. He plays more basketball the right way, I guess. And it's like kind of the setting for him. But I think they'll do well.
Dude, I want one of them to take home the MVP. That's what I want. Like somebody. Awesome. Like let's push it. If we're gonna do it, man, let's maximize our opportunity here, right? Yeah, let's get all the limelights on them. So it's gonna be fun, man. And we saw a clip of them already kind of teasing each other about who's gonna end up winning. So that was definitely a lot of fun. And truthfully, man, this team needs to break. Like now it's kind of like, all right, you have this week, everyone gets to relax except Paolo and Franz, and it allows for us to be able to reboot. And I think that if anybody really needs to kind of like chill out and have a little fun, it's definitely those 2 because they're definitely carrying a heavy load. and truthfully, man, they've been on a little slump. So it's I hope that this time away from the grind allows them to be able to reset and kind of get back to that really good basketball that they were playing before they got into the slump, especially Paolo, man, because there was a moment where we were kind of scared, like, dude, if he keeps having these bad games collectively, like we don't want Benedict to come out of nowhere and take away his rookie of the year reigns, which I think that it's already been too far along. Like it's already been stapled. Like it's already too late, in my opinion, to catch up to Paolo in the Roy race. But yeah, man, I think this break is going to be great. Cole Anthony, he's already like on vacation somewhere in paradise. So it's going to be good for the whole entire team to kind of reset.
Yeah, man, they need it. And to your point, I miss the days when I turned into the TV watching a game or went to a game and Paulo or France were short 20 points each night. Like that stretch in January where any given game, you would get 25, 26 from France, 20 to 28 from Paulo. Like that was special, man. That's when really I started feeling like, man, like we got our dudes. We got these guys that are going to carry us for years to come. And then expectedly, Paulo, he's still rookie. He's already game was 58, 59. It's getting to him. This is the most basketball he's played consecutively, competitively in his career. Yep. And then you got France, who played Eurobasket, played last year. Now he's playing right after playing here in the season. It's a lot of basketball, man. So these dudes need the break. I hope they go to Utah, have a good time on Friday and Saturday night. And hopefully from Sunday to Wednesday, they can kind of chill, lay back, and go somewhere fun. But we need them back, man. And you can tell their legs are just gone, man. Everything they're shooting is short. They seem to be forcing things a little bit. Now, the good thing is if they come back and they can find their rhythm, you got Markel playing his best basketball. Wendell's playing really solid lately. He's a rebound a little better, but otherwise playing well. Cole was playing really well. Jalen Suggs was playing really well. So you talk about the final 23 games and finding that magical run to make the playoffs, hopefully, which we did back in 2019. Can we do it again? I think it's a good chance, man. They're playing really good basketball individually. If they can combine it now with Paulo and France also playing good, it's going to be a really, really fun stretch.
Yeah, it's again, we said it all the time, man. Like we're not your average, bottom of the barrel team. Like our record does not reflect our level of play. And if we can find a way to sneak into that play in, these teams are not going to want to see us just because they know that it's a little bit of an unfair advantage in the sense of like that our record is and our place is where it is because of injuries, because of youth, because of all these things. And you give us a whole entire season to load up and get healthy and allow this game to slow down for these players and learn how to play together, which is the biggest thing, the cohesiveness. It's going to be a problem for these teams, man. So I really hope that these last bit of games that we have left, man, they're going to be crucial. And I mean, since our last recording that we had, man, we went down 1-2 with a loss against Miami. Man, the officiating in that game, it was probably the worst of the season. If I'm being 100% honest, it was
by far.
It was bad. Like it was bad.
It's
like
up there with Utah. Like I don't know if you remember that game against Utah that we played.
Yeah, that's right.
That one and this one, but this one was, I think, even worse because it was at home. And bro, we had all the momentum in that game. All the momentum. And it felt like in the last 4 minutes, they took it all away. It was like, no, you can't lead by 6. No, you can't be up by 2. It was just one thing after the other. And it's the first time ever I go to Amway where I feel like collectively the entire crowd kept complaining about the refs. Usually it's me as a diehard fan. I'm talking about it. I'm yelling.
Yeah.
No. Like everyone that was wearing blue and was a Magic fan was saying it. Like, this is embarrassing. And man, there were some I don't even have the words for it. It was just ridiculous. Some of the calls that we got. You think about the foul against Jalen Suggs. Where was it? Adebayo went for a layup, did not touch Suggs, so there should have been an offensive foul. He went around him. Offensive foul. You got Markel going for it. I'm sorry, defensive foul. Then you got Markel going with the game on the line, makes the layup, gets fouled. Nope. Guess what? Offensive foul. It was just one thing after the other, man. It was one of the worst things I've ever witnessed. And the sad part is, you win that game against the Raptors, so you lost. It's okay because you won the 2 out of the last 3. You're fine. You may be 3 games behind. But because of that loss, we're now 4 games behind after we lost to the Raptors on that crucial game on Tuesday. But yeah, man, it was just a really, really tough way to leave Amway that night and come home and say, it's okay, we got the next one. No. This felt like we got robbed. And I tweeted about it. Like, I really have never left a game so upset. Like, it was, and I wasn't the only one saying that on Twitter. Multiple, even Dante tweeted that, saying that was rough.
Yeah, you're not blaming on the team. Yeah, Coach Mose isn't perfect, but you're really pointing the finger at the officials, man. It was tough. And in our spaces post game, and I'm glad that somebody said it. I can't remember who it was, but we were hearing post game, like, man, we have to get to a point where where we get the respected calls. And it's like, dude, man, it's not about that, man. It's not about you being an all-star. It's not about your reputation. It's not about any of that, man. It's about officiating the game right. And the person that said it made a great point, man. It's not like that anywhere, man. Any other sport is only like that in basketball. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with and maybe not particularly in this game, but in my opinion, man, you get these referees that they treat these players like celebrities, which, I mean, they are. Like the viral clip of the referee that's having a conversation with Michael Jordan in his Wizards uniform, and he's talking to him all buddy, like, oh man, I thought you fouled him. I thought you fouled him. If you didn't foul him, you didn't foul him. I believe you, Michael. If you say you didn't do it, I believe it. Like little stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's like I wish it was a different alternative. It is what it is. This is where we're at. A game that the Magic played very well in. Felt as if they were dominating at a certain point. We kind of lost at the end, lost the game in overtime. So definitely a tough loss. We were able to bounce back, which was great against the Chicago Bulls. Bulls is a team that we want them to lose, just not too much. But I think they're at the point where even if they kind of like slide down even more, that we're going to be fine with that pick. Fingers crossed. I'm not trying to jinx it, but those are my feeling. And then the loss against the Raptors, man, that was a game on Valentine's Day. It was a game that Jonathan Isaac was out, Cole Anthony was out. Really major pieces to our second unit. No Terrence Ross, no Mo Bamba. So it makes it really, really depleted of our second unit to really perform where we need them to perform.
Yeah, and you talk about the Bulls. We're recording this on Thursday night. They're actually getting spanked again tonight by the Bucks. So they're going to be losing their third, fourth games in a row. We're only going to be 2 games behind them in the standings. To your point, we don't want them to lose too much, but I kind of like keeping them up close. That way we get hopefully the 5th and maybe the 6th or 7th pick. That's going to be wild if that happens.
Wouldn't be bad.
But to your point, man, I got 3 games in mind right away when I talk about refs. And I think about, hey, we're 4 games behind. I think back to the Utah game that we talked about earlier. Miami. Remember that foul against Paolo, against DeJounte Murray, right at the end?
Yes.
Those are three games that if some way, somehow you find a way to win those games. And yeah, you can blame it on the fact that maybe we didn't rebound well, we didn't whatever. But refs play a major role. And I'm the biggest guy to say, you know what, you can't blame it all on the refs. I always say that. But man, you get those 3 games properly officiated, and the Magic might only be a game behind right now of a play-in spot. Just think about that. But it is what it is, man. We can't change the past. But I will say it again. That game against the Heat, by far, one of the worst officiated games that I've ever seen in my life. Hopefully things get better, but we know they won't, because we've already known that we get the worst refs to call the Magic games because we're one of the youngest teams in the league. But to your point, man, there should not be a point in a game where, a foul is called against Trae Young because he's Trae Young, but he won't get called against Markelle because he's coming off an injury. He needs to earn the respect of the ref. That's BS, man. If you get fouled, you call it. But either way, let me ask you this. As of today, we're 4 games back of the Raptors and the Wizards heading into All-Star break. Where's your head at as a Magic fan? Like, are you still pushing that, hey, we got to come back strong, win 18 out of the last 23 and make this crazy playoff run? Or are you more of the mindset of, hey, man, let it play out? I don't want to tank, but if we end up having the 5th best odds, I'm happy with that heading into the lottery. Where's your head at with 23 games left and really a month and a half of basketball left?
Dude, it's full blown, full throttle, pedal to the metal. playing, man. And that's one of the things that I do like what I'm hearing, like during these post games, especially during these tough losses, is that, it's the same message, which is, every game counts, and we're talking playing. Like, we're at the point that we're all collectively on the same page. We're not tanking. Nobody is talking about tanking. The fan base is done talking about tanking. You maybe have like those one or two, stragglers that are kind of like, oh man, well, what a waste of a season. We should have been taking this whole entire time. Yeah, goodbye. Like, we're at the point where, okay, if we didn't make the play-in tournament, right? The fact that we're in the hunt, the fact that we're fighting, the fact that we're treating every game as a must win, at the very least, we're at a space where we're playing meaningful basketball. Every game matters, right? We've won more games this season than we did last season. So we know that we have growth. You can credit it to Paolo. You can credit it to to the development of Franz Wagner, and you can credit to us being healthy in the beginning of the season. What did I say? I said in order for us to be able to be serious about the play-in, a lot of things have to go right. A lot of things have to go right. I'm starting to feel like a lot of those things are going right. We got Jonathan Isaac back. He's playing a little more minutes, as the game goes by. Where we've seen great stretches from Paulo, from Franz. Cole Anthony is finally out of his little funk that he was in. So now our second unit, there's points where they're saving the starting five, like they're balling out for us, and they're working. Jalen Suggs, my God, Jalen Suggs, my boy. Jalen Suggs is a baller, bro. Like, for all his offensive deficiencies that everyone complains about, he makes up for it defensively, and it is so fun to watch because my man is, and I'm not saying that because he's from Gonzaga. My man is a dog, and I love it about him. His offensive game is going to come around, and even the last couple games, man, we saw like his Toronto. I saw the stats, man. He came around, offensively. If we can get that consistency, dude, it's at the point where I even think to myself, I'm like, maybe Gary Harris shouldn't be starting at the two. Maybe it's time for us to put Jalen Suggs back into the starting lineup, just because he brings that level of intensities that is just, it's just sick, man. And watching him and Jonathan Isaac like just get in their defensive stance and lock these dudes up, man. Like I look forward, like offense, like naturally for basketball, right? As a fan, you look more forward to watching your team operate on the offensive side, but they just make it so much fun to watch on the other end. And I believe it motivates everyone else to kind of level up their defense. But man, it's been good, man. So it's playing, bro. It's full playing. You do what you can. I like where we're at. I like some of the players in the draft from the 5 to 10, 12 range. I know everybody wants Wemby, everyone wants Scoot. Like, I get it, but dude, you have a chance to make it into the play-in. You get confidence with the team, you get momentum, you get development, and at the same time, man, just because we make the play-in, you're not eliminating our chances of still getting number one, getting number two. Obviously, the percentage is a lot different, but there's still a great probability. Now, I'll take those odds.
Yeah, you could easily jump from 7, 8 to 5 or 4. So it could happen. But I'm like you. I'm all in playing tournament. I want to see games matter. I want to see this team play hard and start building that winning culture. Why do I say that? Because some of these dudes that are in this team right now are here for the long haul. Maybe a year or two ago, we didn't know who was going to be here. Is Franz going to fit in? Is Markel going to be here for the long run? But now we know. You have a little core kind of developing that hey, those dudes are here and they're going to stay here for years to come. And we already saw, we'll talk about it later, like, hey, Mo Bamba's not here anymore. We thought he was part of the core. He's not. Terrence Ross, same thing. RJ Hampton, maybe gone soon too. So the front office already doing their job and saying, hey, we got to consolidate. We got to clean up this roster a little bit. So I want to see these dudes compete because next year, that's going to make them better. You got Paolo coming in next year and Franz going through this stretch of games where they're playing for something. It's going to make them a lot better next year. And also good news, even more good news tonight. the Wizards are also losing tonight. So we may actually go to sleep tonight 3.5 games back of the play-in. So just like we were before we lost to Toronto. So it's realistic. We can still make this happen. And then last question for you. We got 24 wins so far this season, 23 games left. What is your realistic number of wins you expect us to get? So 24 so far, 23 games to go. Where do you think we finish wins-wise for the rest of the year?
I feel confident saying that we'll be in the 30s, right?
Yep.
I feel confident with 24 games. The way that we've been playing, I don't have the numbers up of how we've been playing the last 2 months. But our record, from my understanding, from when I saw it, it was a good solid record. So like, let's say 50% of that, right? That's what 12 games.
Mm-hmm.
So you add 12 to the 24.
It's 36.
That's not bad to be in. Like that's a major jump, bro. 36 win is a major jump. And that's going 50%. So I would say realistically, give me 32. Give me 32, 33. I'm not sure if that gets us into the play-in, but I like that number because it's like, all right, this season it's growth from what was it, 22 wins, from 22 to 33, right?
Major.
Now the expectation for next season, right, is growth. Like it's now
plus.
30 is now third season for Franz. It's now Paulo sophomore season. Now it's adding the new guys, and then it's free agency. Like I think people underestimate like how much of players we're gonna be in free agency. Like from how the Magic are playing, from the way that people talk about the Orlando Magic now. Like now we're not the laughing stock, right?
Practice facility.
The practice facility, man. These people they come in and they see. Did you see Terrence Ross's locker? Did you see his locker in Phoenix? You got
nothing compared.
Little old school, middle school 8th grade locker walking down the hall. Like, dude, our stuff is impressive, and it's a difference maker, right? Because then we talk about state taxes and all that. Like it's just financially it makes sense to play in Florida. So I think that no matter what ends up happening this year, I think that it puts us in a great position for next year. What about you? Where do you realistically see us being in?
Like you, I think 32 is a realistic number. Now, I don't think we're going to go 8 and 15 the rest of the way. I think we're going to end the year strong, especially if we're healthy. So I'm going to go with a wild maybe guess here and say we win 13 and lose 10. So that puts us at 37 wins. May not be enough for the play-in.
That's a great 37 wins is a crazy number, bro.
I think it's realistic. The way we've been playing the last couple of months, we've been playing at around, I think it was 17 and 12, our record or something like that. I don't have it in front of me right now. But if you tell me that of the next 23, we have, I think, the 20th most difficult schedule, so not one of the toughest. I can see this team winning, again, 13, losing 10. If they stay healthy, they can really make that happen. So 37 wins will be massive. I would be thrilled with 35. Like I'm a huge round numbers guy. 35 wins would be massive. That would be a record of what? 11, 12 and 11 the rest of the way? I think it's doable. Just play 500 basketball the rest of the way and get to 35. That would be amazing. That way next year you shoot for 40 wins, 42, 45, and something in that range. It's doable.
Yeah, and you keep it simple, right? You lose a game, you got to bounce back. It's as simple as that. And I don't know, man. I like our odds, man. And it kind of, for a second, it takes you back a bit because you're like, dude, in the beginning of the season, Markel was talking about 4th seed. In the beginning of the season, we didn't have Markel. All of a sudden, we get Markel back. We start getting, Jalen Suggs healthy, and things start to click. And now we're playing really good basketball, even when our 2 best players are playing terrible basketball. Like Paulo and Franz are playing like trash, and you still got Markel jumping out of the gym. Like, what is this guy doing? What is he eating? Like, all of a sudden, he's trying to dunk on everybody, which is I'm all here for it. Like, I love it. So I man, it's been good, man. It's been fun, and I think that we're on the right track. No matter what ends up happening with our record, I think collectively we can all agree that this was a fun ass season.
Yeah, and don't forget, if you listen back to our shows back in October, making our predictions for the year, we said it. If we can some way somehow win 30-32, that's a massive jump. It's a 10-game jump from last year. And I think we're there. I think that's a really, really realistic number for us to hit. So don't lose sight of that. If we don't make the play in, if we whatever, don't lose sight of the fact that we've had an amazing season no matter what. We've been fun to watch. We're having a lot of fun watching this team develop. So yeah, I think we can do better. We could probably win around 35, in my opinion. But even if we get to just 30, that's still a massive jump from last year.
Now, we mentioned already Terrence Ross playing for Phoenix, right? And how weird that kind of looked. He had his first interview that was posted today on Thursday. And I'll be honest with you, man, it's going to take me a little bit to realize that he's really a full-blown Suns. And even Mo Bamba, bro. We saw the highlights of Mo playing for the Lakers. If you didn't see, man, my man's wearing number 12, following the footsteps of Dwight Howard in LA. And I don't know, man. it's gonna be an adjustment. Part of me kind of as much as we complained about Mo Bamba at times, he had a really good message, man, when he was leaving, and in his goodbye to Orlando, he talked about, I wish I could have done more. I wish I could have been more. And it's kind of like, yeah, man, me too, man. Cause this story should have been completely different. I don't feel like, we missed out. Right? We definitely missed out on what could have been. But let me ask you, like, when it comes to the adjustments, like how much are you looking forward to a life without Terrence Ross and Mo Bamba? And I don't mean that in a bad way, but to know that, this roster is starting to kind of finalize at least a little bit, because we went to a point where his DMPs from Mo Bamba, DMPs from Terrence Ross, RJ Hampton getting crazy amount of DMPs, and Kobe Price had reported not too long ago that, there might be an opportunity where the Magic might buy RJ Hampton out. And it's kind of like, we talked about it for the trade deadline. It's like, why didn't we get anything back for these guys? And it's like, man, the Magic always find a way to do right by these players, man. And it's one of those things. And I've said this before, like when it came to Terrence Ross, like, buy him out, don't trade him. Like, I don't even want anything back for Terrence Ross. He was the one player that I'm just like, man, out of everyone, like, dude played 7 seasons with us, and it was nothing but love. Like, nobody really complained about Terrence Ross, except of maybe the last couple of years, where it's kind of like the energy isn't the same. Like, he doesn't feel like, it doesn't seem or feel like he wants to be here. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's definitely weird watching the highlights yesterday of Mo Bamba with the Lakers. What wasn't weird is their reaction after a couple of seconds. He played like 7 minutes, and I just go on Twitter. I'm like, all right, let me just put here Mo Bamba and see what comes up. And all this Lakers fans like, man, why are you at the 3-point line? You're a big dude. Go inside. I'm like, okay. 3 fouls already. What are you doing? I'm like, okay. It's gonna get old really quickly in LA, man.
That's not his game, man. That's not.
It's not.
They're expecting Shaquille O'Neal, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Like, that's not. He ain't no Wilt Chamberlain. Like, he's not his game. He's a great shooter, and if you give him that as his only responsibility, and you're expecting nothing else, like defensively, he was doing stuff defensively where I'm like, bro, can we have done that every game? Could you have just done that? Hit threes, get blocks consistently, and that would be fun. And I don't know. He looked like he was having fun out there, man. He looked happy.
He was having fun. He was also fouling a lot of people. He fouled out. So, so that's Mo Bamba for you.
Man. It's his first game. Like, exactly. What are people expecting?
But imagine you also growing up like as a LeBron like fan, right? This new generation. This is their Michael Jordan, right? And now that's his teammate passing him the ball. Like, his first basketball with the Lakers was a LeBron pass to a Mo Bamba dunk. Like, that's just stuff you're never gonna forget in your life. So I get it. He was maybe a little bit too hyped yesterday, fouled too much. But the end of the story is this, man. Like, I feel like that thank you message that he sent out, that video that Terrence Ross made about the city of Orlando, what it meant to him and his family, And the fact that he's staying in Orlando as a resident, even though he got traded to the Suns, it tells the whole story. It tells that Orlando's a place to come and live, not only come and play for the Magic, but to move
to
your
live
family
here.
here and actually stay here. And I wouldn't be surprised if Mo Bamba later on in life, or if he has a house already, I'm not sure. But if he does, if he comes back and lives in Orlando as well. But from a free agency standpoint, if you're trading for a player, you see these things on social media being talked about. That's exciting. So I think for me, what it meant was I was thankful that they admitted their love for the city, but also that it's opening up doors for new players to come in and hopefully want to come to Orlando and get that kind of love. That's really what I took away from it.
Yeah, and kind of look at it this way, right? Is you got Mo Bamba that is now in the Lakers. You got Terrence Ross that now is in Phoenix, and they left on good terms, right?
Yep.
They left in ways where we didn't send anybody to the Oklahoma City Thunder. We didn't send anyone to no disrespect, but to another country in Canada. Like we did right by them. Go decide where it is that you want to play. So when it comes to free agency, right? Oh man, let's say there's whatever player in Phoenix. Man, I'm looking at teams from looking at Miami. I'm looking at this team. I'm looking at Orlando. Yo, T. Ross, what do you think about Orlando? Man, my time in Orlando was awesome, man. The front office they've been nothing but great to me. The practice facility, the practice facility is crazy. They got a crypto chronic chamber of whatever supersonic this and that makes your elbow grease, like whatever it is, man. It's people are gonna have those conversations where it's people talking positive. And if you don't think that these players talk, then you are insane, because these are certain things that become deciding factors, and at the very least, like letting these people go is like planting seeds. With that being said, let's not ask RJ Hampton about his experience in Orlando. Like I don't think that would be the same positive response. You know what I mean? But I think that doing right by these players. I hope and I pray that we're gonna see the results from that.
Yeah, I think it definitely will. I mean, if you go back to the Vooch trade, I think Vooch he admitted it. He was involved in the process. He was with the front office, finding a place that was beneficial to him and the team. Think about same thing with Fournier. He chose to go to Boston, a winning team that was at that point in time going to the playoffs. He wanted to go there. Aaron Gordon, it wasn't the best of terms. To your point, we didn't send him to Oklahoma City. We didn't send him to Cleveland. He wanted to go to Denver, a team that was winning with MVP, Jokic as his teammate. Go there. We'll send you there. So we keep making these moves that, again, are building a good reputation for us, but also a good agent relationship. And I don't care who you are. I tweeted this last week and got into a little bit with Dylan. I truly believe if an agent has a player as a free agent who wants some money, some tax benefits, good weather, my man, Orlando's top of the list. We got the money. We got the youth. We got a team that's winning now, though, that has a bright future. That agent will put you first in that list because, hey, you've been doing right by my team, by my players. I'm going to return that favor to you. I really believe that's the way that works. We'll find out here this offseason and maybe next offseason. But I truly believe that these things will come back and reap us benefits. Again, maybe I'm a fool for thinking this way, but I really believe that's the way that it would work out for us. Is it going to happen this summer? I'm not sure. But at some point, it will come back to us and say, hey, I'm glad they did those things that maybe could have yielded us a second-round pick. Instead, we let Ross go for free. But it makes sense why we did that now, because that agent hooked us up now.
Yeah, it's all going to work itself out, man. And I'm excited to kind of see what ends up happening. Patrick Beverley getting bought out, and he's already gone. Magic legend, man. Once a Magic, always a Magic. He's gone. But with that said, man, the Magic ended up making a move. Losing Mo Bamba is tough because we needed that size, we needed that presence. So when Mo Bamba when he was bought out or waived or whatever it was, it's kind of like, all right, so we kind of have a little bit of a hole. Like it's just Mo Wagner, and so are we looking to play Jonathan Isaac more at the 5? Yeah, I really wasn't for that because 1, he's not playing a whole lot of minutes. 2, I really like the idea of him just kind of, not forcing him to be this, like give him the flexibility to do a little bit of everything. But the Magic ended up signing Goga. How do you pronounce his last name?
I'm going to go with Bitatse.
I'm gonna go with it. I'm not even gonna try it because I'm still working on it, man. And so 23-year-old Georgian out of the what was it, the 2019 NBA draft? Was that the Zion draft?
Yep.
Right. So young dude that is gonna bolster up our bench, man, with our big man presence. 6'11", 250 pounds. You know, at first I was like, man, 250 pounds, man, that's a big boy. 6'11", 250 pounds, let's go. Then I realized, man, but Paolo Banchero is 6'10", 250 pounds.
Yes,
He
he
barely
is.
bigger than Paolo. Paolo's a big boy, but you know, you just assume that center is just like this massive human being, and he's barely bigger than Paolo Banchero. So it really just complimenting Paolo Banchero because again, the dude's a man child. But man, what do you think of the news? I had posted, you know, kind of the on Twitter the available centers that we had out there, and he was someone that was on the list.
Yeah.
But he was the youngest one on that list. So what did you think about Goga?
Yeah, so not only you, a lot of people were talking about like best free agents available, people that were bought out, waived, and he was always in the top of the list for centers. A lot of people from Toronto were upset. A lot of people from the Lakers were upset that he wasn't picked up. Who was the other one that I kept seeing? I can think of it right now, but a certain fan base was really upset that they didn't pick up this guy in free agency. I think it's a guy that's going to come here, and I don't think he'll play much. The only way that he does if it's Wendell gets in foul trouble or Mo Wagner does. But what I like about him is soft touch. He can hit the mid-range shot. He can expand his shot shooting to a three-point line if needed. Sets amazing picks based on what I've seen on some YouTube clips that I've seen of him. The only downside that I've heard of him came from a beat writer from the Pacers that says he has very, very low motor, kind of similar to what we heard about Mo Bamba for many years. However, I will say this. Whenever we play the Pacers and Mo Bamba went against Goga, this dude destroyed Mo Bamba when it came to rebounding, when it came to boxing him out. So he may be a little bit lazy, if you want to call him that, but he still plays harder than Mo Bamba. So I'm excited to see that. Like, can he bring a little more energy than Mo Bamba did? Because we definitely need more rebounding in this team, and I think he can do that. Also, he can expand again the shooting. With that three-point shot being a threat, he can open up the lane a little bit for Markel and Paolo. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I don't expect much from him. It's a 2-year contract. Second year, it's not guaranteed. So if it doesn't work out, we can just cut him in the offseason, and we're back to just signing somebody new in free agency. So exciting to see what he can do, but I don't have high hopes, to be honest, for him.
Yeah, just to kind of read off of the Ringer draft report that they had, you know, back before he got drafted. He was listed as a player that has shades of Nurkic, a shot blocking in his cancer, and Magic legend Kyle O'Quinn. When we talk about the pluses, they have him listed as a skilled interior scorer off a cut and in the pick and roll. The best screener in the draft class, capable of attacking off the dribble, projects as a positive spot-up shooter, good passing vision, smart and competitive defender, engaged on off-ball, defender who rotates well, hard-nosed rebounder who chases boards was the one thing that I've been complaining about with the Magic. Rebounding. Some drawbacks is going to be moves laterally like he has sandbags around his ankles. He needs to be perfect fundamentally to thrive. Defensively, gets into foul trouble, lacks explosiveness, and he's an emotional player who gets visibly frustrated in past seasons. So, I mean, it's your third string center, man. Mo Wagner completely deserved that second spot, man. He outshined Mo Bamba by ways and ways, man. And I love the energy that he's able to bring. And he also keeps Franz happy. Like that's just an added bonus.
I will tell you what, man, get used to seeing that duo of Franz and Mo Wagner. I think that duo is not going to be split anytime soon. I think Mo is going to be up to make some money here the upcoming years and stay in Orlando because you got to keep Franz happy. I think that's a way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, on that note, man, it's going to be a fun weekend. Great break in regards to the players. Terrible break for us because we're going to go an extended period of no Orlando Magic basketball. But it's good to again be able to being able to see that we're going to have some representation out there. But definitely a lot of fun to see, man. Next week, I believe our next game is on Thursday.
Next Thursday night against the Pistons here at home. So that's one that we cannot lose, man. We've lost twice of them already. We got to bounce back that Thursday and come out ready.
Yeah, man. This is where the if we're serious about the play-in, this is where the push is. Another person that's going to benefit from this break is going to be Jonathan Isaac, man. So hopefully we get to see some of those minutes extend. And on that note, man, it's a wrap for us. All-Star Weekend. Catch you guys next week.
For all the latest Magic news and updates, visit OrlandoMagicHQ.com and follow us on Instagram at Orlando Magic HQ and on Twitter at OMagicHQ. Also, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and subscribe and leave a 5-star review on your favorite listening platform.